Hey, so welcome back, everybody. Remember, the purpose here is to flip conventional thinking on its head when it comes to your making personal financial decisions. We teach principles-based planning that serves as a guide for financial security for your future, and I hope you'll adopt some of these ideas as we go through this process. Right? Our goal and our purpose, again, is to create barriers around your savings and assets so that people are in the best position possible when stuff hits the fan. Right? And today I want to talk about how to guard your savings and assets. So this will be principle number 2. Basic defense can be a good thing, but maximizing your defensive talents leads to championships. That's just using a quick sports analogy. Championships are won with great defenses. You can have a mediocre offense and have a great defense and still win a championship. Right? And how do we tie this into our personal finances? In previous posts, we talked about how people are under constant assault for people wanting their money, right? It's everywhere. Marketing's everywhere. Everybody wants your money. Everybody wants in your wallet. And to give up the use of your money so that someone else can profit instead of you. We've been conditioned to think this is a good thing. And here's why I'm going to push against the status quo. It's your money. Now it's time to learn some of the basic rules that institutions use, right? Would an institution ever make an investment into an executive that they know nothing about? Or they take time to do research, do some interview people that knew that candidate? Where they draw up contracts with expectations? Would there be an exit plan if things didn't work out? Of course there would be. Of course there would be. They'd have a backup plan. They'd have an exit strategy. They would have something in place to get out of that initial planning process. Now I want you to think about your personal finances like that too, right? So the first line of defense to your savings and assets is your car insurance, right? You have it. You don't like paying for it, right? Nobody likes paying for their car insurance. Everybody wants to pay for as little as possible. You may never even end up using it, but it's in place for that time you may need it. Right? So what does your car insurance actually do for you? Most people are going to want to say, yeah, it covers the value of your vehicle. And it certainly does that. It also provides money if you were to injure somebody in an accident, right? So it's your first line of defense against a lawsuit. You have your P&C agent go over all the values, what those values mean. More than likely, you don't have enough coverage because you're being sold on just what the premium would be. It's doing a disservice. You'd be surprised how small of an increase, adding another $100,000 to your liability coverage, how small that really is. It cost me $2. $2. So just something to think about. Don't buy just on premium. Buy on what it's actually doing and the services that it's going to provide for you, the benefits you get out of it. So here's an accident, or here's a scenario. You're in an accident that costs you the ability to go to work, right? So you can't go to work. Rehab now lasts 2 years. That's 2 years you're not going to work. The settlement comes out from the other insurance company that $100,000 is going to be, this is what we're going to give you. $100,000, could be $300,000, whatever. That's there to cover all your expenses, your mortgage, your home, groceries, all these things. My question is, would you want more than that? Now flip the scenario, and you're the one that caused the injury, and the lawsuit is brought against you for $1 million. You're being sued for $1 million because you injured somebody that they weren't able to go to work for 2 years. They're not functioning at full capacity, and they need help to get around all the time now. Would you know who to talk with? And is this a time that an umbrella policy could be a good option for you to have at this point? When should that be in place? When should the increased liability coverage be in place? Right before it happens, right? Make sure you're talking to your agent about this. Have them explain it to you, what these coverages are, And if they're just trying to sell you on, oh, you don't need that much, you don't need that, that'll never happen. Get that in writing. Make sure you have that in writing. Keep it on your records. So if something does happen to you, they can file a claim against their E&O insurance, because that's being negligent. They're not serving you. They're worried about you going to somebody else to be their client. Right? They're not looking out for your best interests. Anyway, back to my point. Right. So both things are just tools, and they're there to preserve your cash. They're there to preserve spending down your assets. There's a very small chance this scenario would ever happen to you. I get it. But maybe you know somebody that this has happened to. Maybe you know somebody that they know somebody that this has happened to, and maybe 10 times worse. The question really is, how prepared for the scenario would you like to be? Would you want to be in the best position, or do you want to be left scrambling for answers, right? And then, are you going to be able to make the clearest financial decision when you're under pressure about finances? We just want to get these things off our head. We're not always going to make the clearest decisions. So what are the small steps you can take today to begin making sure this doesn't happen to you? 1, review your auto policy, your car insurance. Review that. Have your P&C agent go over all those things for you. Ask them what you need, what your maximum coverage would be, and get a quote on that. You'll be surprised how little that actually is. Then get them to give you a quote on an umbrella policy. My policy is $188 a year for $1 million. Another $1 million of added security to me. If you need any help, reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions. Look forward to our next video.